We are in Chelmsford right now, outside Guy's latest project with his partner Catherine, who is too camera shy to get on the camera and describe the project. So she's thrown Guy under the bus and onto the camera so that he can break down exactly what we're doing here. So we're going to go through the numbers, how they managed to get 90-something thousand pound off of the original listing price, and what they're going to be doing with the property to generate a nice high cash flow at the end of it. Let's start off with the purchase of this property. What was it originally listed on the market for at the beginning?
549.
549,000, but then the seller was reducing the price, weren't they? And they came down to
499.
so 499,000, but Guy and Catherine weren't happy to stop at 499,000, so you made an offer that was nice and low. What was that?
430.
430. Did they rip your arm off and say that's a great deal, we'll take it?
Come back with a counter offer of 444 and you've got a deal.
444. So there's a bit of back and forth and ended up settling at 444,000. I'm guessing they like the number 4.
I think so, yeah.
All right, so 444,000. You funded this using private investor?
Private investor. We're funding the refurb by itself, but the purchase price was private funding.
So you bought it using private funding, the refurb you're covering yourself. And so how does that work then with the private investor? What do they need to know to get a property or to secure the property?
So they have first charge on this property, so
Yep.
if we don't pay the money, then this is their house, and we also had to secure the loan with a second charge on another property that we own.
Got you. And that's because they gave you 100% finance, right? So got 100% finance. That meant the first charge on this property. So if they didn't pay the money back, then the investor can take this property, and also a second charge on another property. And that's because it was 100% loan to value. So there's no equity otherwise in this one. So if you're thinking about private investment, this is a professional private investor. They've done
Yes.
hundreds and hundreds of
Property
these
investor
types.
themselves and private investor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got you. So this is a professional private investor. This is what they do. You must have had a great friend or mentor to introduce you to such a guy.
Yeah, some bloke, Steve from Bromley.
Oh yeah,
Right, handsome fella.
I've heard of him. Very good looking. You're welcome. Yes, help Guy with that private investor. It's an incredible deal. You'll see in a moment. So 444,000. Of course, there's fees on top of that. So stamp duty was
34,400.
34,400. And then we got quite a bit of legal fees because you paid the private investor fees, you paid your own legal fees.
Yeah.
All in
About 8k.
about 8,000. So that's a reasonable amount of legal fees at £8,000. And then what else now? Refurb. How much are we looking at on the refurb?
We think we can get it all done for about 50k.
Perfect. We're going to go and have a look at that and see what's being done for 50k and talk about how guys managed to negotiate on prices and not settled for the first price. One great example is the MegaFlow that you got in the property, right? So you had a quote for 10 grand?
One was 10, one was 15.
15 grand?
Yeah.
And then, so you decided rather than go and pay someone to do the entire job, you'll get the parts and you'll pay someone for the labour.
Correct.
How much does that work out?
Parts were about 3k and the labour's 3.5k.
So that's 6.5k all in then. That's a very big difference to 15k. So don't take the first price. I mean, I've seen this so many times. Someone comes out and goes, right, this is how much to do it. But if you separate the materials and the labour sometimes, which can get you a much better price, but you're project managing effectively yourself,
We've
aren't you?
essentially done that with everything. We're buying the materials, and if tradesmen don't want us to supply the materials, then they're not getting the job. A lot of them do come back and say, no, we're supplying fit, so they've not been for us.
Fair. Just to close the loop quickly, before we move on, what's the final value going to be? So 50k on the refurb, 34.4, 8 for the stamp duty, 444 to buy it. What do you think it's going to be worth at the end?
We're hoping 650.
So 6,750 is what we're aiming for with the GDV. That's the final value on the property once all of the work is done. The good news is, if we get a valuation of 670,000, which is based on a sold comp, a very good sold comp, just a few doors along recently, that will give you a mortgage of 502,000, which allows you to draw most of your money back out. And I think we said leaving about what, 40,000 at the end, all being well, and then you end up with a £670,000 property that you basically paid 30 to 40 grand for. You still got 25% equity in, and you didn't use any of your own money to buy the property. I'd say that's a fantastic deal.
Exactly.
What's that going to generate for you afterwards, roughly?
So profit per month, 2.5k.
About £2,500 profit per month. So this is game changing, and this is a non-Article 4 area, so there's no planning permission to worry about. You spoke to the licensing team, they're
They're
fairly
on
happy.
board. Yep.
Brilliant. So you're providing good, affordable homes to the area, and it's going to be a really high level of accommodation as well.
High spec, yeah.
Higher than you thought, actually.
A lot higher than we thought, yeah.
So let's take a look at the refurb and see some of the things that can creep up in the middle of a refurb. Come on in. I noticed you've got a lot of flooring up all over the house. Let's tell them why that's up and what happened.
Right, so on the ground floor, we found that we had woodworm. The ground floor was completely rotted, so we've had to redo the flooring. And then when we got upstairs and started ripping the carpet and the old laminate off, we just noticed that all the floorboards were in a terrible state, so we're just going to redo them.
So yeah, pulled out the carpet, pulled out the laminate, pulled out the ply, and the
Yes.
floor underneath was rotten.
Completely rotted.
How did you actually discover that?
Catherine's brother fell through the floor, literally fell through the floorboards.
So always be mindful when you're ripping up flooring. And also, you had a contingency in place, didn't you?
We did. That's gone.
So
£10,000 contingency, so new flooring, 2 new staircases which were affected by the woodworm and completely rotted. We had to redo them.
So 2 new staircases, the flooring. So it's always critical to have contingency in place because things could come up that you just can't foresee. It would have been very difficult to see that unless you got a flooring survey, had someone rip up multiple layers of floor.
Yeah.
It's going to be very difficult to tell that that's there, and that's why we've got a contingency. But on the bright side, new staircase.
Yeah.
Now you're taking the opportunity to put insulation
Insulating
under
the
floor.
house.
Yeah. So
Brand new floor, new flooring. So we're just seeing it. We're trying to make this into a positive. In the long term, a house is going to be insulated. We've got brand new floor that's going to last at least 25, 30 years. So we're quite positive about it.
yeah, good. And I think it's a key thing here is you're going to keep this for a very long time.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure you're doing the top standard job as you are.
Yeah.
And as an HMO landlord, generally you're going to be paying the bills. So
We are.
more insulated the house is, the more cost effective it is
This
for
is
you
our
over time.
thinking, yeah.
So I think that's fine. Is her brother all right?
He's okay. He's going to fall through.
Well, that's important as well. So, how many rooms we've got here? What's the plan?
So we've got 6 at least, but we're going to go for a 7th, but initially open it as a 6 and then apply for the planning once we're up and running with a 6-bed.
Brilliant. And that's because when you go 7 bedrooms, you now need to apply for planning permission. Always easier to operate as a 6-bed and then apply for the 7th bedroom once the 6-bed's already operating. So a little top tip. And also you get to cash flow in the meantime, so you're not just waiting on a planning application before you can do so. So sounds like a great strategy, sounds like a great plan. Should we have a little wander around and
Yeah, go for
try
it.
not to fall through any gaps?
So this is back bedroom, ground floor. We've got 2 bathrooms here. Someone's in the toilet, we right over that door.
I don't want to be on YouTube.
Middle bedroom.
Might get some extra views.
We've had a new staircase built here, not complete, so unfortunately we can't go to the loft room, but there's going to be a studio, kitchenette, an ensuite and double bedroom upstairs.
Brilliant.
These 2 rooms are going to be made, well this one is going to be made bigger because this won't pass as a room, so we're going to move this stud wall to have 2 single rooms and that will be our 7th bed.
So this room's a little bit too small to meet the regs at the minute, which means you have to move this wall over because this room's quite big, and pinch a bit of room from there, and that gives you your space to have the bedroom there. Then.
Yeah.
But were they operating this as a bedroom before?
Yes.
Were they a licensed HMO before?
No.
So this is one thing to watch out for. You know, the guys that sold the property, it was an HMO, but not everyone selling an HMO is doing things in the right way. This room was under the regulation size and they didn't actually have a license to operate. So if you are going out there buying a property that's an HMO, always check that they've had a license, and do your own measurements and do your own checks on the room as well. Now this is a relatively easy thing to do, just move a wall, and you knew all along that you're going to have to do it. But I've seen people go out to properties or trust the floor, never trust the floor plan. Always measure the floors and the walls for yourself. So okay, perfect. Can I see this famous MegaFlow?
Start again. So when we bought the property, this was the dining room. There was a big chimney breast that came out to about here and it had like a little dining room table there. We've knocked the chimney breast out, opened this room up, and this is now going to be the kitchen.
Much better use of the space.
Yeah.
That's good.
This tiny room was the kitchen. We're going to have this as our dining room. and the famous MegaFlow. So this is going to be our utility and plant room where all our plumbing work's going to be. There's the MegaFlow, the boiler, the pumps are going to be in here, which will then feed all of the piping that we just see upstairs.
Come and have a look at this MegaFlow. That is the MegaFlex. So it's important, isn't it? When you've got a lot of people using water supplies, using hot water to make sure that the whole house is heated, that people can actually access hot water all the time. Because as much as cold showers are good for the health, not every tenant sees it the same, do they?
No.
So a lot of tenants here, you're very close proximity to town, so
It's a 5-minute walk.
likelihood really this is a car-free HMO, isn't it? Yeah, that
Yeah.
people are going to walk into town, to commute into work.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a massive property. What's the square footage or square metres on there?
Square metres 163.
163 square metres. I mean, it's huge, isn't it? Absolutely huge.
Yeah, it's big house.
Brilliant. And demand in the area for tenants?
Yeah, there's a lot of demand. We're not concerned about that in the slightest.
How long have you been going so far on the job?
This is our 4th week.
How long left?
8 to 10 weeks.
Having fun?
That's debatable.
So, let's manage your expectations. If you're going to get knee deep into a refurb and you're going to project manage it, you know, yes, you're going to save a lot of costs, but there's work involved in that, isn't there?
And it's stressful, but it's not for the faint-hearted.
Yeah. And it's sometimes people say to me, "Oh, Steve, you make it all look so easy." I said, "I'm not saying it's easy, but it's easier than going to work for your entire life and then retiring at 65 on £1,000 a month. You know, you decide. So this will pay you thousands of pounds a month for forever once it's done, won't it?
Yep.
So massive financial step, massive investment, but a big upfront effort and first project, really, isn't it? So
First.
that's going to be always going to be the most difficult, but you're doing absolutely incredible. What advice would you give someone thinking about it? Don't say don't do it.
You just got to go for it. The more time you spend thinking about it, and you're never going to get it done. You just got to jump in and just get it done. Worry about it when these problems come up and just deal with them as they come.
I think that's it. I think a lot of people, they overthink things and don't take any action.
Yeah.
Whereas actually, if you take action, once you're moving, you figure it out. And you're obviously doing that now.
We're committed now. It's too late.
Yes, you have to, right?
Yeah.
And it's still a great deal. So even with the things that are cropped up, you know, the odd sort of bit of flooring here and having to dig out a drain there, but it still stacks up as an incredible investment. So that's absolutely fantastic. Congratulations, mate.
Thank you.